Now, Morena Ramoreboli's star has been rising every year since that 2013-14 season when he beat Orlando Pirates with Maluti FET College by 4 goals. You remember that? Well, the Orlando Pirates fans definitely remember that. He has been doing very well in his career. At some point, took Bafana Bafana to glory. Well, a second string, so to speak, in the COSAFA Cup out in the Eastern Cape. And now he has won the league title in Botswana as a coach with Jwaneng Galaxy. He joins me right now on our Zoom line, live from Gaborone. Morena Ramoreboli, thank you so much for your time this morning. How does it feel to be a league champion?
My brother, thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity to greet you and everybody in the studio. And let me also take this opportunity to greet the viewers at home. And thanks very much for having me on your show. This is a great feeling, honestly speaking. You know, you can win trophies when you are home, but when you win a trophy away from home, it becomes so special because you know that conditions are not always easy for you when you are away from home. But honestly speaking, I am very, very happy because I believe that this was a victory that was well planned and well executed. Players were doing their part, management was doing their part, technical team was doing their part, as well as the supporters. So I think it was a team effort. I am very happy.
Coach, you know there's a Sesotho phrase, and I don't want to get it wrong. I know you know it, that talks about Mohale le Motswana.
Mohale ha to me habo.
Mohale, what's that?
Ha to me habo.
Habo kwe habo. Is that the case with you, with South Africa? Is that the case? Do you feel that South Africa just does not appreciate Morena Ramoreboli and a whole lot of other coaches, actually? Because we can talk about Coach Pitso Mosimane. He's the most famous of that case. We can talk about Coach Benny McCarthy. He's doing very well at Manchester United. He's been praised month after month by his club. The likes of Bradley Carnell are coaching out in the US, and they're doing very well. Is that the case with a lot of the South African-born coaches?
I think South Africa has a lot of talent, and maybe some of us need to go out, do their job outside the country, and try their best to raise the flag as high as possible. And maybe one day there will come a time where people will realize that we have talent that is doing the job outside the country. And it's time for us to bring them back home so that at least the standard and level of football can improve in the country. But to be honest with you, I think it's about working hard wherever you are. I'm in Botswana now. At some point I was in Lesotho. And I never took the opportunity for granted because I knew the importance of working hard and trying my level best to make sure that I always make noise wherever I am so that South Africans can know that I am still there fighting as hard as I can because I love the game and I respect the game. So I think one day God will make a way. South Africans will realize that they have talented individuals who are working outside the country, and for our football maybe to become stronger, maybe such people need to come back home.
Let's go back now to Jwaneng. It's a relatively young club. I think, if I'm correct, it was founded in 2014. How easy has it been to work with that kind of club? And I mean, the resources there, what are they like compared to the likes of Township Rollers? We know it's a big club in Botswana. Gaborone United is a big club there. In comparison to those big names, what kind of resources do you have to even dare win the league title?
To be honest, I think credit needs to go to our sponsors because I think they have tried their level best. They've tried their level best to make sure that they try to compete with those big guns you have just mentioned, even though things are not as easy as one would expect. But I think, when you are given an opportunity as big as this one, as a coach, you need to double your efforts and make sure that you try and improve and also promote the brand. And I think at the moment, the Jwaneng Galaxy brand is becoming stronger. It's now known in Africa, and that's the most important thing. Honestly speaking, I think the management of the club have played an important role in supporting the project with everything that we needed. And sometimes you need personnel that is ready to work with you, willing to go out and do their best and make sure that whatever that you have planned with them becomes successful. So I think we have done almost everything that needs to be done. So the only thing that maybe we need to do now is to try and cement our position in the continental tournaments so that the world can know about Jwaneng Galaxy.
The world will know, definitely. And you mentioned that Africa already knows about Jwaneng Galaxy. And that's because you also competed in the CAF Champions League in recent times. You've qualified yet again. You're hoping to go a step further this time around.
True, my brother. I think the most important thing now is we have learned through that period when we were at the group stage. Now we need to try and go a step further into the knockout stage. You know, to be honest with you, with the quality that we are having, with the talent that we are having here, it is possible to reach the knockout stage. The only thing that we need to do is to prepare well and also analyze our opponents properly, because honestly speaking, I believe that teams are improving, football is evolving. When we were there 2 years or last year, now things have changed. Teams are playing differently. I was watching this Alger playing against Yanga. They are playing a different brand of football compared to the Algerians we played against in the past. So obviously it means there are certain elements they are also stealing from the southern part, in making sure that when they play with the southern region teams, they can easily compete. But now the most important thing is to sit down and make a proper planning and make sure that we achieve what we want to achieve.
While you tell that person that you are in a very important interview, Coach Morena, you were quoted as praising Coach Pitso Mosimane in one article that I saw, and how selfless he's been in helping you in some ways, particularly a couple of years ago when you were in the Champions League, when you beat Simba of Tanzania. How is your relationship with Coach Pitso, and do you model your career after him?
To be honest with you, I model my career after Coach Pitso. Reason being, Coach Pitso left South Africa to go and do the job outside the country. And let's be honest, you'll be criticized when you are from outside. People will not understand what you're trying to bring up until you achieve your goal. So I think Coach Pitso for me has been more like a motivator to me, because we do talk with him. I learned a lot from him, especially understanding the importance of being outside the country and try your level best to make sure that you don't make a mistake of taking things for granted. So for me, Coach Pitso has been my inspiration, and like I say, most of the time when I try my best, like when I talk to him, I always learn a lot, because I think he has been through this journey that I'm in, and he understands things much better than me. So the most important thing is to understand that you need to learn from people like him, and immediately you do that, that's the only time you can become a better coach as well.
It's off-season right now. The pre-season will be starting for a lot of clubs across the world very soon. Are you staying at Jwaneng? Are you hoping that there's an offer from here, back home in South Africa, that is coming towards Coach Ramoreboli? Are you hoping to come coach in the PSL?
My brother, the only time I will leave Jwaneng Galaxy is when something worthwhile comes my way. At the moment, I'm at Jwaneng Galaxy. My contract ends in June, and I know that my agent has been busy with them. My agent was telling me that he's busy with there are people that are calling him. So, I mean, at the moment, honestly speaking, I dedicate everything to Jwaneng Galaxy. It's up to Jwaneng Galaxy to decide whether they they want me to stay, or a team from somewhere says, we want your services, can you come and help us? Then if that happens, it has to be something that, honestly speaking, it's more sustainable and more solid than what is happening here at Jwaneng Galaxy.
Coach, I know you to be a scholar of the game. How important is that in modern football? We see coaches like Rulwane Mokwena spends every second learning about the game, learning about the opponents or his opponents, and is very meticulous in planning for every single game that he plays. And I would make a comparison and say perhaps a coach like Pep Guardiola in the world is where a lot of coaches are moving to, where world coaching is moving to.
Yeah.
How important is that to fuse football planning and tactics with science, with everything in the modern age?
Yeah, to be honest with you, Mr. Leshoro, it's very important because, let's be honest, football is evolving. Football is changing every day. So if you think you are good today and you don't empower and improve the knowledge you have, people out there are busy trying their best to be better than you. So it's important that when you get an opportunity, you go to classes, you learn, you try to improve the knowledge, and as well as trying to buy books, try to invest in equipment that will make you a better coach. I always tell people that there's one thing that I learned from Coach Steve. He once said to me, Morena, you don't sell your job, you buy into your job. And I've always been doing that. When I have money, I go out, buy a book, I go out, buy coaching board, things that I need to use to make sure that I empower and improve myself. And I think that's one thing that has always been helping me since my days at Maluti, because I've always been saying I need to respect the game so that the game can respect me. But if I go into the game and say I'm knowledgeable, I'm talented, then soon talent will not take me further. Then it means if the talent can take me further, then it's the end of Morena.
Coach Morena Ramoreboli, it is definitely just the beginning of your career at the moment, and we'll keep making noise with the likes of you and others who are doing well outside the borders of South Africa. He has just become the league champion with Jwaneng Galaxy in Botswana. We leave it there.